Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new league racing video. This is the IronMan League around Bahrain, as you can see. And we're gonna head into round number 4 of the championship, if I remember correctly. And we have closed up a lot to Ferrari. I think we might actually be leading. I couldn't find a graphic of the championship standings at the moment, but once again we're doing a last to first challenge. As you can see, it was gonna have a little look down the inside of our teammate Danny Bresnay there. It goes a little bit wide, but we managed to avoid all the chaos on the inside.
All of the grid goes
and get ourselves up to P12 and P13. So very good start there, considering we're starting P17 and P19, I think so. So good start so far. I've gone for the softs as rain is expected later on in this race. And honestly, I thought it was going to come really early. So that's why I went for the softs, as Danny tries to go down the inside of Gap. We go all the way around the outside, and you could see how wide I went there, because I knew there were two cars on my inside. So just took a bit of caution there, as Gap actually collides with our teammate Danny Bresnay, and somehow manages to save it. Honestly, crazy car control from him. And now once again Danny and Gap go side by side into the next left, and the Gap goes really deep and somehow again manages to not to collide and get damage. And now we are up to P10. So a really good start there in the opening lap. Sorry if I sound a little bit scruffy. I have been sick the past couple of days, so I'm trying to keep my voice up to a good volume, but I do struggle a little bit sometimes. But back to the race we go. P10, Optimus Prime, which is Chana Kinsey, setting the fastest lap of the race. There's some really good drivers in this round. There's Thomas Gal, Chana Kinsey, Ulas Ozilderim, Thomas, and then our teammate Danny Bresnay, of course. So Ben Sabo Konya as well, actually, also doing a last to first challenge. However, safety car has been deployed, and with the rain coming, I was like, you know what? We're gonna absolutely send it and go for the intermediates here. So is Zoltan Boda, and actually almost overtook him into the pits, but didn't want to speed into the pits, so I was a little bit too careful there. Otherwise we could have gotten the move done into the pit lane. But as you can see,
I didn't go to the pit
on to the intermediates we go.
I'm pulling a masterclass. Just trust.
Sorry?
I'm pulling off a masterclass. What?
No way you put on intermediate.
Yeah.
It's not a masterclass, man. I'm 100% sure it's not.
It is.
Oh my god, mate. You are the bravest man alive.
It's a wet season in the Middle East. Yeah, you know, Will. I'm higher up the rank.
It's raining, guys. It's literally raining.
I told you.
No way, man.
Oh my god.
Come on, restart this shit. I can't. No. I don't even want to hear about this, man.
Everyone ahead of you is on slicks, right?
Yes, but I mean, if these guys don't catch the race, we'll still not be restarted, so I will pit. So, thanks those guys who cannot catch safety car in 3 laps. Yeah, it won't get restarted, I can just pit. Okay.
I hope it doesn't restart, because I need to replace my headset battery.
It's crazy though that there are actually people who didn't catch the safety car in 3 laps after 1 lap of racing. But they saved me. I'm P19, but it's fine. Still early on in the race, I will have fun for sure.
So yeah, you could hear a strategic masterclass discussion there with our teammate Danny Bresnay. going on to the intermediates. But we're gonna go racing once again. The leader pulls off into the pits to go for intermediates as well. And now there's 2 cars ahead of us into turn 1. We're gonna try and overtake both of them at the same time into turn 1 with the help of a little bit of slipstream and ERS. We're gonna brake much later, and by the time we get to the apex, we're completely ahead of both cars. And into turn 2, we're gonna go up into the race lead, and now we can push flat out in the next few laps. Full wet conditions are expected later on in this race as well, so we might have to go onto full wets eventually, or either go for another new set of intermediates later on. We're gonna have to wait and see how it's gonna go, but we are just gonna push flat out and create as big of a gap as possible, so in case we do make a mistake with the strategy, swapping back onto the dries or onto the wets, that we've got a little bit of a cushion to the rest of the grid. Lap 12 now, and you can see it is raining much harder than 5 laps ago, and Thomas Ronhaar right behind us, or actually 3 seconds behind us, and catching. I was not quite up to pace compared to the top guys, as I was playing iRacing the past 2 weeks, and basically jumped into the race without any form of preparation, so not ideal preparation for this race. The tracks are random, of course, in this league, but if you've only been doing iRacing the 2 weeks before, then you are not going to be quite up to pace with F1, as they're like opposite driving styles. On F1 you really have to push as hard as you can, and on iRacing you have to be really smooth, be careful on your tire temperatures. But onto the full wets we're going to go. Thomas does it as well, and slowly we're going to get into a rhythm and get back up to full pace later on in this race. And as you can see, a lot of people staying out on the inters. We're gonna go onto the wets, and we're definitely gonna have a lot more grip than these guys, but the question is, can we make up the full pit stop loss that we just made? And as you can see, everyone's struggling around us. The car that was on my outside in turn 1, look how far he's behind already. We've got so much more grip. And Isvan Tarkani, I hope I pronounced his name correctly. We're gonna overtake him right now, and yeah, we were completely behind as we started the traction zone, and by the time we finished the traction zone, we were completely ahead. So I reckon we're close to 5 seconds per lap faster at the moment, but we are on new tires, and that advantage is slowly gonna fade away little by little, especially when it's gonna start raining less hard. But at the moment, the grip advantage we have is absolutely ridiculous. Timbo up next in P5. I actually forgot to turn off my overtake button, so we could just keep it on, didn't have to turn it on anymore. And up to P5 we go, and now we got David Vins up next, and again it's gonna be quite light work with how much more grip we have into the right hand. And we're gonna go, and then by the time we're gonna finish the traction zone, we're gonna be ahead again. And now we're up to P4 and chasing Thomas Gal, Danny Bresnay and Zoltan Boda. Now Zoltan Boda is not quite F1 esports level, but he did make the right strategy decision and is leading the race at the moment. However, my feeling at the time was that going onto the wets was definitely the right decision. With how much time we were gaining on these wets, you can see Thomas Gal, F1 esports level driver, I think leading PSGL F2 championship at the moment, and we're gaining half a second per corner more or less. You can see how much he's struggling mid-corner there, and up to P3 we go. And now we've got our teammate Danny Bresnay up next. I'm struggling to get the front end turned in the fast corners, but yeah, even though we were struggling a little bit with the balance, we're still gaining so much lap time compared to the intermediate runners. Now, of course we have made up our pit stop loss that we made going onto the wets. However, we're also going to have to go back onto the intermediates eventually, as it will dry up later in this race again. So ideally we gain another pit stop distance, and then we move on to the intermediates, because that means then we box when it's intermediate conditions, and we've got a fresh set of intermediates, which gains you a lot of lap time. So even if we do not completely manage to get a full pit stop distance, I think 10 seconds will be enough as well, because that fresh shed of intermediates gains you so much lap time as we take the lead of Zoltan Boda in lap 15. And once again, we're gonna try and gain as much lap time as possible to whoever is P2. Thomas is coming, he's in P4 at the moment, so it's not gonna take him very long to get past all these cars that are much slower at the moment. And into turn 1 we go, trying to get a front end turn in again. I was really struggling with this on the full wets. I felt like on the intermediates a little bit as well, but not as bad. And now lap 20, you can see the gap we've got. Almost 28 seconds to Tamas Gal on the intermediates. Now Ulas and Benz both went for wets as well, same strategy as us, but they were just much farther back when they went onto the wets. But clearly wets were the right strategy call, and now we're going to be boxing for a new set of intermediates again. Run on those until it dries up, as the crossover is happening around now. Thomas stays out actually for another lap on the wets, so let's hope if we can extend the gap a little bit. We have to extend the gap, because if we don't, then that means we've done an extra lap on the set of intermediates, and we have overall lost out, and we'll lose out over the rest of the stint pace-wise. So on to the end of our outlap then, you can see Thomas has boxed as well now, and the question is, will we have gained time or lost time? You can see I'm struggling with the backhand actually on entry there, a little bit of a moment. We're going to turn on the overtake button, and Thomas onto the inters obviously as well. Into turn 1 we're going to go. You can see the gap is not big actually, and we actually might have lost a bit of time, so definitely the wrong decision to box a lap earlier, as Thomas is a second behind at the moment, so not ideal. We of course got more tire wear now, and the intermediates, yeah, the pace loss you have on used tires is quite a lot, so that one lap can make quite a bit of a difference. Of course our tires are warmed up already, but the intermediates warm up quite fast anyway, so that doesn't really matter a lot. On to lap 25 we go now, and you can see Thomas has catch up to us, and now we're gonna have to go defensive for sure on the main straight. We're gonna turn on the overtake button, go down the inside to cover off the inside into turn 1, and hope that Thomas does not outbrake us into turn 1. We're gonna go defensive, open up turn 1, squeeze Thomas to the racing line, and we somehow manage to keep the lead that way around. But there are still 32 laps to go in this race, and at the moment it doesn't look like we've got the pace advantage or the pace to win this race. So next lap, once again we're gonna have to go defensive, turn on the overtake button, and try to stay ahead into turn 1. Thomas in the slipstream, he's gonna maybe look down the inside, but we've got it covered off for so long that Thomas had to go around the outside. We cover off the switchback at the exit of turn 1 and turn 2, and we're gonna turn on the overtake button once again. We have to go defensive into turn 4. Thomas goes around the outside, we go down the inside to cover it off and cover off the switchback as well, and once again we somehow have managed to stay in the lead for another lap. And if we can just keep this up until it dries up, then we got a good chance of winning this race. But at the moment it looks like we don't have great pace in these wet conditions, and yeah, 2 attacks defended. Let's bring on the third one the lap after, and again we are gonna have to turn on the overtake button into turn 1 and go defensive as Thomas launches up another attack. I actually bottomed out a little bit on the inside there, didn't expect that, and that cost us a few extra meters into turn 1. I went wide, and now we've got a lot more trouble on our hands. We covered off the switchback, and somehow, even though we went wide, we managed to stay ahead. We go defensive into turn 4 once again. Thomas goes around the outside this time, doesn't try the switchback, and unfortunately that exit on the outside there just doesn't have a lot of grip. It's off camber as well, and if you go too wide you kind of just get dragged away. And once again Thomas launching the inside perhaps a little bit. He was having a little look. I just kept a little bit of extra room just in case. Lap 28, attack number 4 is underway. Didn't want to use a lot of my battery once again because we are starting to run out, and I'm not sure how much Thomas has left. We go defensive into turn 1. Thomas goes around the outside. We leave the space, and now it turns to the inside for the next corner for him. But we've got the inside for the next one again. And once again, we're going to go defensive into turn 4. However, it looks like we've got just enough breathing space to take the normal racing line for once into turn 4. So, again, we survived. But for how much longer? Our ERS is starting to go down a little bit. Thomas does send down the inside this time around. But we have the outside, more momentum on the exit, and it's turning to the inside for the next one. So again, we managed to stay ahead. Lap 29 now then. We're going to turn on the overtake button and use whatever we've got left in our tank. Thomas doesn't seem to be using that time around, so not really an attack, not really anything to defend there. You can see it has stopped raining, so that means in the coming few laps we might have to go and look at slicks. Usually on the F1 game the track dries up quite fast, so within the next 3 laps we will be on slicks already.
Yeah, what can I do, man? I'm so bad.
As our teammate Danny Bresney has already gone for slicks. Now you can see there is clearly a dry line.
I don't understand. My track is dry. I have no window. No water.
Never
My
mind.
track is settings.
I can't hear you.
So yeah, what you could hear there was some poor Discord communication. I'm not sure what was going on, but I couldn't really understand Danny. I think neither could you guys. So end of lap 32 now. We are boxing, and I think me and Thomas were the latest to go onto slicks together with Thomas Gal. So onto the mediums we are gonna go. Now I think softs can make it to the end from here, but the question is of course if it's faster than going to the end on mediums. Perhaps a 2-stop could be possible as well, I'm not sure.
Right?
But as you can see there, Thomas has lost a lot of time there.
What on earth happened in his
pits?
pit
I
stop?
wasn't sure why.
You got completely screwed by the game or what?
As you can hear me talk about it, I was really confused on why Thomas lost so much time as Thomas Alroet boxes and retires from the race. We currently have got quite like 3.5 second advantage as Thomas is disconnected from the session, and later on he told me he had some kind of sound issue, and the only way to fix it was to leave the session and join back. But that has lost him close to 10 seconds, I think so. He did manage to crawl a little bit back on the softs. However, we have been saving up, and both our ERS and our tires to go for a fastest lap attempt. Now, the fastest lap attempt is a 1:30.55. If I remember correctly,
okay.
Said by someone
I
who
wanted
boxed
DRS.
twice onto slick. So this is not going to be easy. We're on 23 lap old tires, and we're going to have to beat someone on like 1 lap old soft. So not easy. We did get DRS into turn 1, and we've got pretty much a full battery to use this lap. So let's see if we can get anywhere close to beating that fastest lap. Little bit of a moment out of turn 4. We go purple in sector 1. It's only for 1 extra point, but it might be deciding the championship later on in the season. So good rotation through the hairpin there. We get the power down. A little bit of wheel spin on these mediums that are starting to fade away into the long left hand, and we go. Nice rotation we got through there. That is the fastest way to drive around Bahrain on F1 23, using up our battery into the fast left hander we go. Blue flags ahead of us, however they are way too far away to get blue flags. Into the final sector we're gonna go in a second. It's a green middle sector, not purple though. Too many corners, too many mechanical grip corners to make up time relative to someone on new tires. So we're really gonna have to live off that first purple sector if we want to get that fastest lap here in lap 55. We're gonna turn on the overtake button, use everything we've got, and it's just about
like
not
half a
enough,
tenth short.
by half a tenth of a second. However, we have managed to bring home 25 points in a hard-fought race. I think a solid 5 or 6 laps. Me and Thomas went head-to-head there, and we came out on top with the help of the disconnect from Thomas, or sound issue. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe for more IronMan League Racing content, and see you guys next time. Ciao.
I'm in the AMG, no